What is up, guys? Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Thanks for joining me today. Welcome to Phil Plays Bass. Here, what do? We play some bass, technically, and I'm also developing an app, which I will talk about a little bit in the future of this video. Let me just pause the music for a little bit. We talk about bass, we talk about practice. I essentially do some practicing live, and you guys get to join in, tell me what you guys are working on, tell me what you would do in terms of your practice routines, and we just put all of our ideas together and come up with better ways to practice and stay, I don't want to say accountable, but we stay motivated to practice. So I stumbled upon a really cool video today. I will show it to you guys in just a sec. This is a video. It is Rick Beato. You guys don't need to see this. What is this? No, this is what you need to see. There we go. This is obviously the infamous and the legendary Rick Beato on his channel, talking to Frank Gambale. And Frank Gambale telling him how he explains modes to his students. Why is my head so small? It's usually pretty big. He talks about how he explains modes, and I absolutely loved listening to these two guys talk about this, because it really, I don't know, I think it's going to help me understand modes and internalize modes in a better way. How you doing, Akil? Thank you for joining, man. How was your exam? I forgot to ask on Friday. How did your exam go? Did you succeed? Hopefully you've got some good news, dude. I certainly hope so. And in this video, Frank Gambale explains just a really simple way to help his students understand modes, and I thought that was just a brilliant way to explain how modes relate to one another. It's exam week, unfortunately, and I got exams on Monday, Tuesday, and last Thursday. I won't be able to stay till Thursday. Dude, don't worry. You're all good, man. Exams come first. I'm glad you're prioritizing the important stuff, which is exactly that, dude. So good on you, and don't worry about it. I'll be back. I'll be here in the meantime, and when you're back, I'll still be here. So don't worry about a thing. I hope you get a nice long holiday after that. And you aced science. Was that the one that you left the stream early for? Because if you did, dude, congratulations. I'm really happy for you. Well done, man. Well done. It's quite an important thing to do well in science. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Well done. Right, so what exactly is Rick and Frank talking about in this video? Where is my action cam? This isn't the action cam. Intro, playing, same cam. That's not good. What's going on? Camo Studio. There we go. Action cam. That's what I'm talking about. Oh boy, I really need a haircut, don't I? This is starting to get quite long, my hair. Well done, dude. I'm very happy, Akil. Right, what is he talking about? Essentially, he takes a starting note, his starting note being, in this case, E, because on the guitar, E is your lowest note, and it's the one that you can sort of let resonate. And he essentially plays the 4th and 5th degrees of this, starting with Ionian, the first mode. So E major, and he plays the 4th degree, which would be A and B, which together would be 2 major chords. And he plays them with this E string ringing in the background as a backdrop. Actually, I could probably play that somewhere else. And then plays the 1. So 4, A major, major, B major being the fifth, and the 1, right? So that's Ionian. Now, if we decide that the E is now Dorian, so E becomes E Dorian. Now, if E is Dorian, that means that the Ionian mode would be a tone down. So the key center to an E Dorian would be D Ionian. The 4th degree and 5th degree of Ionian would be G major and A major. And that would be right. So we're in D major playing E Dorian, and we're gonna still play these 4th and 5th degrees of the Ionian mode over this Dorian E, and you'll see the difference. You'll hear the difference. All of these notes, all of these two chords are highlighting the fact that this is a Dorian chord. We've got our minor third as a G, we've got our 4th, and if we play that D, that A major, sorry, we've got our natural 6th, E, and an 11 put together. This is how this relates. The Dorian relates now to the Ionian. So it's difficult to convey exactly the idea, but I recommend that you watch the video. I'll get a better handle of it. This is kind of like a hot take. I watched this video and I was like, oh man, this is such a good explanation, and I wish I could convey exactly what he means. It took a little bit of thinking to understand exactly what he was going on about, but he's essentially just using the E as the focus every single time. So he'll start on E Ionian, E Dorian, E Phrygian, E Lydian, E Mixolydian, E Aeolian, E Locrian, and he always relates that the root of this mode, the root note of that particular mode, to the key center, so the scale from which it is derived. So as I said, if we're in E Dorian, that means we're in D major. If we're in E Phrygian, that means we're in C major. If we're in E Lydian, that means we're in B major. If we are in E Mixolydian, that means we're in A major. And if we're in E Aeolian, that means we would be, the 6th note would be G. We're in G major. And every single time we relate to the key center, to the major scale from which the mode is derived, by playing the 4th and 5th degrees of that original key center, the Ionian mode, that gives birth to whichever mode we're focused on at the moment. So to take another example, if we are in E Phrygian, that means we are in C major, the 4th and 5th degrees of a C major key. In the key of C major would be F and G. So if we play F major and G major over E, what do we get? I need to find the correct. So if I'm playing E as Phrygian, and I play the 4th and 5th degrees of the major scale that relates to E Phrygian, essentially we get that minor sixth, we get that flat 9, we get an 11, we get the fifth, we get the minor third, and we get the flat 7 altogether by just playing these two major triads that are essentially in C major. Right, so we're in C major, but the E Phrygian sounds like this. So, what is up, Duckling? Nice to see you. Hey, what's up? Hey, yo. One last example, and then I'll move on to talking about the app, which you guys are now able to try. I'll show you. I think there's something cool that can be done with that, and I'll talk a bit more about this later on. So if we decide that we are in E Lydian, that means the Ionian, the major scale that gives birth to an E Lydian, is B major. So the fourth mode, Lydian, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are indeed in E, but we are in B major technically. And if we play the fourth and fifth chords, arpeggios, triads that come from B major, we get E major and F sharp major. And if we play an E underneath that, there's an E, we get and we get all of the notes with these two chords, and it gives us a good idea of what the mode sounds like compared to its key center. And here we get a fifth major third of E, we get the E itself, we get that Lydian sharp 11, we get a 9, and we get a natural sixth. So that's what Lydian sounds like. One more time, if we decide that we are in E mixed Lydian, that means E is the fifth note of what scale? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, E. That means we are in A major. And if we decide that we play the fourth triad on the starting on the fourth note, and a triad starting on the fifth mode of that A major key center over E. So this would be D to E. What did I do? My bad. A major. But now we're going to play these triads on top of an E pedal. Hey, what is up? Somebody subscribed on Twitch. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you for the sub. And this is the sound of Mixolydian. We get all of the notes of Mixolydian here. We get an 11, we get our flat 7, we get a 9, we get our major third, and a 5. So we've got all the two notes that determine what is a Mixolydian mode, which is the flat 7 and the major third. And The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson is technically it's a song that is written in the Mixolydian mode. And that's a cool example of a tune that that works just like that. Funnily enough, Master Blaster by Stevie Wonder is also a tune that's written with a mode in mind, and as far as I remember, it is it mixed Lydian flat 6 or Lydian sharp 2 sharp 6? But it's essentially a tune that's not, it's not in a major key. It's a mode. The whole song, the whole sort of angular nature of the harmony in that song is derived off a melodic minor chord. And Frank Gambale, I'll show you guys the video again. Like, this is really worth a watch. This video, guys. I asked Frank Gambale about how he teaches modes, and what I'm trying to explain right now is essentially what Frank Gambale's explained. And I was like, this is such a cool. It just felt like a breakthrough day for me, even though I know the modes, I know blah blah blah, but to explain why they matter and what moods they bring to a song. Frank does an absolutely stellar job at explaining that, so I really recommend that you guys watch this video. It's really cool. It's only about 10 minutes long, and it's powerful. And he explains about how why Stevie writes just super hip. He used the term hip, which was hip, and it's still hip, used by guys that used it unironically, like Frank Gambale. But that's enough about the modes, guys. I'll do, as I need to wrap my head around more of that stuff. But essentially, just wrapping your head around. E Aeolian would be the sixth note of a G major chord in a G major key center. The fourth and fifth triads would be C major and D major. And if I play C major and D major over E, I get an Aeolian sound. But I'm in G major, and this really highlights how the modes relate to one another, and how they're different moods that can be brought into the world, stemming from one particular key. I thought that was really cool. I need to do some more practicing around it, but even just picking a note and going through that process of being like, okay, if I'm in X Dorian, that means that X is in the key of Y, and the fourth and fifth degrees of Y are this, and then you play these two triads and compare that. It's obviously easier to do with an open string, but if you've got a piano as well, obviously a lot easier and a lot more flexible. But altogether, a really interesting way to think about the notes, how they relate to one another. And even though it's a G major triad and a D major triad, if you play them over E, if I play them over E, what do I get? I get here -6, I get the root, I get a minor third of E, I get flat 7, I get 9, and I get 11. And altogether, these are all the notes that I need to know about when it comes to the Aeolian mode. It just highlights all of the interesting notes that make the mode, that give the mode its vibe and its color and its mood. All right, number 2, guys, I wanted to talk about the app, which is now it's now more live than it was before. By more live, I mean you guys can actually use it and play around with it. For real, don't pay attention to the numbers here. They're absolutely skewed. I did not practice 9 days, 16 hours today. That's just the app just putting a little glitch on me. But altogether, if you want to play with a metronome or you want to play with a timer, they have different bonuses. I'm going to give myself 3 seconds to guess where the notes are. And I'll play start. Is it the right? Yeah, it's right. Sometimes it guesses. Oh, A sharp, my bad. You really need to play the notes really cleanly, otherwise it won't give you the win. But altogether, you get points, and yes, dude, the leaderboard is live. Did I? Oh, I forget. Stupid me. There's no button to access the leaderboard. I'm an idiot. But essentially, if you go to the URL and you type in the URL philplaysbase.com/leaderboard, once you start accumulating points, your name should appear on there as well. Don't pay attention to the fact that I'm on top of there. It's obviously because I've done a lot of testing. But you guys can go to philplaysbase and go to the app. So when you're on the main page, you go to the app. It will ask you to... I'll just log out real quick. It will ask you to log back in. You can use Google. It's totally safe, guys. I'm using a third-party service called Kind, which is super safe when it comes to user protection. It's not my own implementations. It's a third party, so your data's in good hands. You've got the dashboard where you get to see, hopefully the numbers will be correct for you guys, and you can play Note Match, which is the one I was just playing, and I can play it with a metronome, or I can put the practice mode if I don't want my points to be recorded, if I just want to just try it out. Play start, select the tempo at which you want to play. Not yet more points for slow tempos or fast tempos. That's the next feature I'm working on, as well as a heat map that will tell you which notes you need to sort of work on and put a bit more, like sprinkle a bit more of them in each practice session. That way you're sort of guided towards improving. At some point there will be like levels, introductory kind of stuff, maybe some XP, some badges and stuff like that. So there's going to be a ton of stuff that I want to implement. If you are feeling more confident though, you can also practice with arpeggios, with or without inversions. So I hope this still works and it doesn't crash. So F sharp major. Okay, it doesn't work. Oh, I need to... Okay, well there's some parts are still a bit glitchy, right? So let's forget about the arpeggios for now. But altogether, the sort of regular fretboard... Oh, it's because it's from the bloody microphone, not my interface. I can't sing notes. G. There we go. Okay, that's better. Need to restart because the points now are not going to get counted, I think. Where are my points? Why am I not? Because I'm in practice mode. Silly me. That's why. Like I said, you've got to be precise with the notes, otherwise it's not gonna count them. If they're half correct, you just manage to sort of just about get in position. It's not going to record it. It requires like confident notes. But I think it could be cool. You know, you can select different parts of the neck that you want to work on, and do that. So if I was in practice mode and with my microphone, probably this should work again. Give you a second to set up. Okay, A major. Okay, nice. Okay. That still works. The interesting part of this one is when you start bringing in inversions. D sharp major, second inversion. B major, second inversion. D major, first inversion. That is the... Oh. I'm a goose. C Like I said, okay, when you get it right, it's correct. Just when you play incorrect stuff, you get roasted. Second inversion, F major root, D sharp major first inversion. There we go, finally got it. A sharp major first inversion. Too quickly. But you guys see the point. You can play with the timer, although you do have to restart the session. It's still a bit glitchy. I will also implement a bit of a feedback box underneath where you guys can send in whatever you want to talk about, or whatever you want to see, or just tell me, oh, I feel like this doesn't work at all, or I don't understand something. I need your help to sort of guide me through all the sort of finer details, because I've spent so much time staring at this interface that there's a few obvious things that I'm missing. So need your help. Go try it out. If it doesn't work at all, send me a screenshot in the Discord, and I'll be hard at work trying to fix all of that. This is my life at the moment, guys. I really think this app can be something cool. For now, it's a basic prototype. It could be just totally useless to you, but I want to make it more useful in general. And for that, I need some user feedback. So I'd be super, super grateful if you guys could log in and check it out, because I think it could be an interesting little addition to your practice routine. You know, just like, oh, I'll just practice, you know, the dusty end of the fretboard where I don't really know what the notes are. I'll just, you know, no timer, no metronome, just totally free. Plenty of time for me to guess the notes. Okay, D sharp, no idea what that is. Is this D sharp? That's not D sharp. This is not D sharp. This is not D sharp. Okay, this is D sharp. Okay, so D would be just underneath. F, and then you get to figure things out at your own pace. And then when you start feeling more confident, you can add a metronome. The metronome gives you more points. The timer gives you a bonus for how quickly you can get the notes. So you start accumulating points like that. So that was my little introduction to the application, friends. The other one gives you points for playing really, really close to the beat. So just pick a note. I like E because it's a good frequency for the computer to identify. It might still give you points if you just hit the strings at the right time. So you always sort of get points, but Big Sun says, I use Firefox. Seems like when I switch tabs, it stops listening to my bass. Does it work at first, though? Is it a case of... that's a very, very good feedback, dude. That means when it's Firefox, I need to forcibly refresh the audio engine, the audio context, when there is some tab switching there. Very, very good, man. I really appreciate that. This really helps, dude, by the way. Much appreciated. So that's interesting. So if I switch tabs here, go back to Frank Gambale for a second, and then I start again, do I have the same problem? Okay, mine is still working, so that might be Firefox, obviously a different program, but that's really good to know, dude. Firefox testing. I'll add that to my whiteboard. Already helpful, Big Sun, so really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, dude. Free access for you, free lifetime access to the app, even when it costs $99 a month. No, but seriously, everybody who's already into the app, at some point I'll put a little bit of a pay wall to it, like, you know, I don't know, $1 or $2, something like that, something just really, really cheap. It could be crap on your end, but that's my job to make the thing work, even if there's crap on your end. So, no, dude. I know Firefox can be a little bit more troublesome when it comes to audio contexts. So I probably forgot to implement something. So I will do some Firefox testing tomorrow, and I'll come back to you on that, dude. So I really, really appreciate the feedback. Thank you very much. On the other hand, you guys might have noticed that there was a little bit of a tune when I first started on the lobby page. It's copyright-free music. I think it's AI generated. It's on Spotify. I thought it's kind of cool. Did this one? Spotify is not playing. The good thing about copyright-free music, you can do whatever you want with it. Problem is, nobody knows it. So it's a bit less, keeps people in a bit less. Seems like I have to select a different audio in the drop down, then go back to my audio interface and it works again. Right, so yeah, it is a problem of the audio context not refreshing properly, which is annoying, but it's just one of those things I can probably fix with a couple of lines of code. So thanks, Big Sun, really appreciate it, dude. I will do some more testing tomorrow and hopefully fix it. Friends, I've got to start preparing some food. So as I said, this was going to be a shorter stream today, but if you're interested again in checking out this really awesome video about modes, there it is again. Frank Gambale and Rick Beato talking about modes. Very cool video. And if modes haven't quite clicked for you yet, this will help. Maybe not immediately, but do try it out. Do try to understand what he's talking about. And I'm super happy to revisit that in the future if you guys have some more questions, because it's really illuminated a different part of the modes that I wasn't really aware of. So check that out, and go check out the app. Guys. I want to see some people on the leaderboard. All right. Technically, you can also play this with a regular microphone if your amp is not too far from your computer, from your laptop. It should work as well if you're in a quiet room. I did do a little bit of testing. It works. What I did with that crappy ukulele just down here. It works as well. So I'll leave it to you guys. And all feedback, you guys can send it on the Discord. I will actually create a channel right now about that in order to open the floodgates and let you guys tell me everything you like and everything you don't like. And let's make it a community developed app. Obviously I'll get all the money, but you know, I'm the one doing the work, so app feedback, text, blah, create channel, there we go. All your feedback for the app at philplaysbass.com. And I'll add a box on the application as well. So I want to thank you all for your attention today, for your presence. Very much appreciated. I will be back tomorrow at the same time for more modes, some interesting developments when it comes to Hadrian technique, more transcriptions, all sorts of shenanigans, and let's get sidetracked as often as possible. Anything else I had to say, to announce today? No particular announcement, just I'm grateful that you guys turned up. Very, very much appreciated. Akil and Jeffrey and Duckling and Nate. Thank you, bro. Nate, if you have time between work to try out the app as well, do let me know. If nothing works, do let me know as well. Would appreciate all of that. All right, dude, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. I will see you all tomorrow. And we're starting again strong and solid. The road to episode 100 is officially started today. Base out. Toodles, guys. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.